A podcast horror movie. It was bound to happen. And in Undertone, these podcasters get sent 10 mystery audio files that they definitely should never have opened. Evie is one of the podcasters, and she's at home hospicing her mom. Her mom's got like 1.5 feet in the grave. Not a good situation. So Evie is back on the sauce. But she's got one outlet in her life. She's got this podcast she does with her buddy. It's like a true crime / horror podcast. But of course, he's on the other side of the country, and they can only do this podcast at like 3 a.m. Perfect. So the mystery files they get are of this couple who are recording recording around their house because weird shit is happening. It's like a radio play within a movie. In fact, if you were somebody who was blind, you could probably watch and listen to this movie and still completely understand what's going on. So each night in the movie, they listen to a couple more files. And of course, as they listen to more strange shit starts happening. You know, like, is her mother getting up out of bed and wandering around? She's supposed to be in a coma. Is there something in the house with her? The sound design in this movie, it is on point. There's a lot of, did I hear what I think I just heard? It really plays with your head. And you know what they say about the internet. If you get a file or a link from somebody you don't know, don't ever open it. But this is one I think you should definitely open. Turn down the lights, turn up the volume. Since it's largely about you listening, you can even play on the phone a little bit and nobody will judge you. It just left the movie theaters. It isn't streaming anywhere just yet that I know of, but it's going to happen soon. So if you want to pay for it, you can go on Apple or Amazon and pay the $20 to stream it now. If you wait a few more months, it's going to show up on HBO Max soon. So you know the story of Lord of the Flies, right? You got a bunch of kids stranded on an island. They go feral. They kill the fat kid. You know the whole deal. Well, how about something that takes place on the Galapagos Islands? And instead of kids, it's full of a bunch of Euro trash douches. The good news is that the movie is directed by Ron Howard, and it's based on a true story. It's called Eden. So Jude Law and his lady friend, they moved to this remote-ass Galapagos Island. They're from Germany, so it's a long haul. They go there to write his super emo manifesto on the state of man, and it's 1929, so humanity in general is not at a great time. But somehow this guy moving out there gets popular in German newspapers. So what happens? Oh, there's this family, the Whitmer family. They follow him out to this island like a bunch of super fans. That's how Sydney Sweeney comes into this movie. And of course, this guy moved to the most remote place on planet Earth because he didn't want to be fucking bothered by anybody. And he's got this family of super fans coming to bother him. So what does he do? He immediately sets them up to fail on the worst part of the land of the island. And as if all that isn't bad enough, now coming to the island is Anna de Armas. She's this wannabe countess / super slut who comes to the island wanting to open a hotel there. This guy just wants to be alone, and he can't be. And when I say she's a slut, man, do I mean she is a whore. She is attention-seeking. She's got these 2 boy toys that she just shows up on the island with and starts ordering them around as if 2 people could build a hotel. So, yeah, she knows how to fuck, but she knows fuck all about building a hotel and even less about surviving. And this is an island in the middle of nowhere. This is the wilderness. So before you know it, you've got all the makings of like an island war coming. It's like a board game. And you are waiting to see who's going to get their comeuppance. This movie is like a Real Housewives TV show set in the 1920s on an island. So yeah, nobody in this movie is particularly nice or lovable. But if you are a history buff, and you want to see a chunk of history that's largely been forgotten, you'll want to tune in to see this. It is entertaining. I'm not saying it's not entertaining. There is a scene in this movie where Sydney Sweeney gives birth in front of a bunch of feral dogs who are attacking her. That scene alone is enough to make you want to see this movie. Plus, if that's not enough for you, Anna de Armas actually is, honest to God, really hot in this movie. And for the ladies, you've got full-blown Jude Law wiener. It is out and about for a while. So yeah, it's not the greatest thing in the world. You could pass. You ready for a nihilistic movie filled with a bunch of punks with names like Buzzsaw and Goose? This movie is Dead Boyz Can't Fly, and it's by the writer of a guy who wrote a movie. If you're a deep cut for horror fans, Fight for Your Life. If you've seen that movie, then you know what you're in for in this one. It's the 80s. It's Memorial Day weekend in New York City, and you've got a stressed out, depressed, stripper dating nom vet who's a janitor in a New York high-rise business building. And it's about to get invaded by some weird punks. And you'll really hate the punks in this movie. Goose is a loudmouth, Buzzsaw is a rapist, and the third guy, whose name I don't even remember, well, he's just hanging out for a good time. And then there's this funny part, the nom vet. He really is just lost in nom. He manages to be sweeping up around the office. He keys into this office, and there's a guy who is working late on the weekend who hates his life. He's literally got a gun in his mouth ready to kill himself. And this guy just walks in and starts talking to him about nom. This really is like a niche, forgotten movie. And I think it's only for people who have any kind of thrill in seeing really niche, really forgotten movies. It's shot surprisingly well for a guy who just mostly did porno movies. It's kind of like a knockoff Clockwork Orange. It's giving that kind of vibe. The double ending at the end is pretty entertaining, but this one in the end is only for the hardest of the hardcore. I can't really recommend it for anybody out there who is not deep in the horror or cinema hole.